This morning, the Crown Prosecution Service has announced its decision not to pursue any criminal prosecution arising from the sudden and tragic death of 13-month-old Poppi Worthington in December 2012. Some legal proceedings are still outstanding, including coronial and unsatisfactory performance procedures. However, I'm now in a position to comment on the matter, and I'd like to make the following statement. I have read and considered all the available reports relating to Cumbria Constabulary's handling of the initial investigation into Poppi's death. I'm absolutely clear that the Constabulary's initial investigation fell well short of the standard that could and indeed should have been expected. For this, I'd like to make a full and heartfelt apology to Poppi's family and all of those who loved her. Whilst there were a number of faults in the conduct of the initial police investigation, I believe that the main failings were a failure to secure and preserve potentially relevant evidence from Poppi's home address or the hospital that she was taken to, a failure to conduct a thorough investigation in a timely or effective manner, particularly the length of time to obtain witness statements and formally interview key witnesses, also the length of time taken to send off forensic evidence for analysis, a failure to keep timely and accurate records setting out the rationale for why decisions were taken, and a failure to share relevant concerns with local authority colleagues with responsibility for safeguarding. I believe that the potential cumulative impact of these investigative failings has meant that the ability of legal proceedings charged with the responsibility of determining what happened to Poppi has been hindered. Crucially, evidence has not been able to be tested to the criminal law standard of beyond reasonable doubt. A failure to pass on concerns to local authority partners may have hindered their ability to make important safeguarding decisions. And most importantly, flaws in the initial police investigation contributed to Poppi's family not receiving the professional response that they were entitled to expect. The primary responsibility of the police when investigating infant and child deaths is to shed light on the circumstances surrounding the death, and in so doing, provide a voice for the child. In our failure to undertake an effective investigation after her death, Cumbria Constabulary has let down Poppi Worthington and her family, and I deeply regret this. Deficiencies in the initial police investigation has contributed to the fact that, almost 4 years after her death, the cause still remains unascertained. These deficiencies became apparent in March 2014. The public of Cumbria and the Police and Crime Commissioner acting on their behalf can be reassured that the Constabulary has used the intervening period to ensure that its people, systems and processes are robustly equipped to protect them and undertake serious and complex investigations of this type when called upon to do so. The justified criticism levelled at the Constabulary in respect of this investigation has had a profound impact throughout the organisation, and the learning arising from it extends to all ranks and grades across the force. I am clear that the deficiencies in the initial police investigation arose not through a lack of resources, but as a result of poor judgment and decision making by senior detectives leading this investigation, not adhering to or a lack of knowledge of policies and procedures, and insufficient challenge into protracted and ongoing investigations. Over the past 2 years, the Constabulary, working together with the local Safeguarding Children's Board, has put in place a comprehensive plan to ensure that the deficiencies highlighted have been addressed. These include training for all operations supervisors and staff in respect of the management of potential crime scenes, and senior detectives have received bespoke training into child deaths. All major investigations now include peer review at an early point in the inquiry to quality assure the approach being taken and to provide support where necessary. And the local Safeguarding Children's Board has appointed an independent chair, and the Constabulary is now part of a Cumbria safeguarding hub where all of the agencies with responsibility for safeguarding children work together and share information to protect vulnerable children. I'm a parent of children myself, and I can only imagine the distress that the parents and family of Poppi Worthington must have felt at her death, but also 4 years after. They're no clearer as to why she died and what were the circumstances of her death. It was our job to try and shed light on that and the deficiencies of our investigation have proved that we haven't been able to do that, and we've let them down, and I deeply regret that.